Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We have, first of all, a very good morning, and we have two of our teams all set to take on each other. And we have the O.M. Roy Memorial School taking on the mighty fine Sacred Heart Senior Secondary School. It's going to be a cracker of a contest, and both the sides are all set to present you with what is considered as a belter of a display. Stay tuned while we bring to you the starting 11 of both the sides. And here's the starting 11 for O.M. Roy Memorial Higher Secondary School. And we'll soon provide you with the starting 11 of Sacred Heart Senior Secondary School. Two very talented teams, two very explosive teams in terms of attack, and this is going to be one of the toughest contests that this tournament, the leg of the tournament, has witnessed so far. Yeah, the final huddle there, just having a few quick words, ensuring that all the important words are being said. So as we can see on your screen from the right to left will be O.M. Roy Memorial Higher Secondary School in blues, and while in their traditional greens adorning your screen from the left to right is none other than the Sacred Heart Senior Secondary School. And it is O.M. Roy Memorial who get things underway and will be hoping for an early start, for an early opener that can set the tone of the contest exactly in what they have been willing to do for the past few days. An early start, an early surge down that left wing straight away sets O.M. Roy Memorial scarring for an opportunity. However, an alert defense there from Sacred Heart Senior Secondary School will ensure that there's no early downfall, at least for the time being. And a cross comes floating in from the left, and the ball's fallen back for O.M. Roy, but Sacred Heart has got the ball in control, and they push forward from there. A few neat passes played forward there. A bit too disconnected in the beginning, but it's just 20 seconds, 26 seconds in the clock. Of course, both the teams will need some time to settle down their nerves and play accordingly, set the tempo of the game right, and then probably start probing the opposition in the best possible manner. O.M. Roy Memorial School has enjoyed a bigger part of the possession, and they will really like to build from here on. And a nice run there from the right wing, looking to find a man inside the attacking third, but the cross was a bit too haywire and not exactly in the position that could have probably posed a threat to the opposition. O.M. Roy Memorial comes from the left again, has an opportunity going their way, sends in a brilliant cross, but it was a bit too straightforward and a simple collection for the Sacred Heart defense. They waylaid and they ensured that the ball didn't have any threatening impact on their defense. However, O.M. Roy has already started asking a few questions. It's a lovely ball, an opportunity to break free early in the game, and a very crucial defensive maneuver there. A slight shove, that if you would call it, but the referee says that it's pretty much a shoulder push. But that's not going to bring you any foul. O.M. Roy starting the game on a much more dominant note than Sacred Heart Senior Secondary School, and they are hoping to find that early breakthrough. They had the first opportunity of the day, a great opportunity in fact, but they simply couldn't utilize it to the fullest. Two minutes on the clock. We've seen an attack in the making already. We have seen O.M. Roy Memorial starting to ask all the right questions. Pretty desperate to pretty desperate to crumble the poise of the opposition. Whenever you score an early goal, there's an attacking intent that comes straight off the block, and that's exactly what O.M. Roy Memorial wants. Some early momentum going their way, an early boost, and again, O.M. Memorial has an opportunity bombing down that left wing. It's for the third time in the game in the last 2 minutes that they have tried and explored that left wing. That's exactly what makes them so dangerous. That's exactly what makes the team an early contender of the heavyweights, of being a heavyweight. And a long throw coming in, an opportunity for OM Roy Memorial just trying to find the ball for themselves. They still have the ball, goes for a shot, takes a deflection, and goes out for a corner. What a start to the contest we have had, and Noam Roy making all the right noises that can lead to further catastrophe for Sacred Heart. At the moment as things stand, however, both the foot presses stand intact and stand tall against the recurring attacking move of OM Roy Memorial. OM Roy whips in that corner in the box, but it didn't have the direction that they were looking forward to straight away. Sacred Heart lacking composure at the moment, pretty much on tenterhooks, just hell bent on clearing their danger lines. A bit of a high press from OM Roy Memorial, starting the game on a much more categorical note than their counterparts. And they win themselves another important throw in. Can they put more men forward? That is the question. The ball is being sent in a pretty proper throw. Despite all the attacking moves, despite all the incursion being done by OM Roy Memorial, at the moment, the first 4 minutes had seen some decent solidity in the Sacred Heart defense, and they would like to keep things that way. String together a few important passes that can probably allow them some breathing space at the moment. They are in desperate need of some. They are being pressed hard enough by their opposition. They are being pursued continuously on the wing. Once again, a ball on the far left, but this time the attacker won't really reach it. So another chance, another move goes begging, and it seems that so far the first 5 minutes has been pretty much in favor of OM Roy Memorial School, and their attack seems a bit too single dimensional as they have tried and used the left channel, but so far the rate of success is still zero despite finding an early attacking move. Well, on an honest note, on an honest note, Sacred Heart is pretty much living on the edge right now. They do not want to clear away the danger lines. They want to keep the ball in play. They want to stitch together important passes. That is basically their style of play. We can see the tussle of the ball, and still nobody of Sacred Heart wanting to clear away the line. The referee has played advantage. A chance there for OM Roy Memorial to move forward, but it doesn't seem like they'll enjoy much of the superiority there. They've kept the ball in their possession. Eventually, it rolls out of play, and Sacred Heart will have a throw going in their favor. The traditional greens are still to come up the block because they are busy defending. They have been kept on their toes. They have all hands on deck in their air guard as OM Roy Memorial keeps on pressing the accelerator harder and harder. And this is for the first time Sacred Heart has a ball in their favor in the opposition attacking half. A cross comes in. The players got the ball, had an opportunity, and against the run of the play, well, the goal was nullified because eventually the resultant shot that was taken, that was used to peg the ball in the back of the net by Sacred Heart was deemed offside. Well, this is the kind of play that we are probably going to witness. It's going to be some premium attack against counter attack, and that's probably the best brand of football that you can witness. A team weathering all the early storm and now slowly coming up the block. In fact, putting the ball into the back of the net only to be deemed offside. So, as things stand, the first 7 minutes rather, well, this has been another golden opportunity for Oval Roy Memorial, but the resultant shot was an extremely meek effort that went straight into the arms of the goalkeeper with no troubles whatsoever. A pretty strong start there from OM Roy Memorial, and an equally strong response from Sacred Heart. OM Roy Memorial, once again, a fine ball down the left wing. The attacker has to run and cover his ground. It's gone a bit too far than he would have wanted. And now the referee blowing the whistle, giving away a free kick in favor of OM Roy Memorial. This is a chance to get a reward for that early salvo. A scintillating free kick taken, but at the end of the day, it didn't have a man to latch onto or probably head home. And it goes out for a goal kick at the end of the day in favor of Sacred Heart. Sacred Heart now sending the ball forward. This is for the second time that they have the ball in the opposition attacking half. Weathering that early strong from OM Roy Memorial sends a brilliant ball forward, but OM Roy Memorial defense was pretty much on the move, had their eyes open, and headed it clear. And now time for Sacred Heart to build something from the best spell of possession that they have savored in the opposition half. A bit of a twist and a turn, a bit of a passing away, but then eventually they have conceded possession. Another fine run there from OM Roy Memorial, but the goalkeeper this time coming out of the block and ensuring that he collects the ball before an opportunity fell for OM Roy Memorial. So a pretty solid exchange so far with both the teams tugging at each other conveniently enough, emphatically enough to probe the few questions that should be in place in order for an attack to take shape. And the ball rolls out of play in favor of a goal kick for Sacred Heart. And straight away tucks the ball midway now. Gets a bit of a flight and eventually falls back for Sacred Heart. And now Sacred Heart trying to find a man forward, but the ball had a bit too much pressure on the same. Much of a punch there, which made it a bit too easy for the goalkeeper eventually to collect it. Sacred Heart intensifying now for the first time. They are featured on the right wing, just hoping that if they can get the ball rolling their way. But it wasn't in the way they expected. The ball rolled out of play and eventually ended up as a throw in favor of Sacred Heart. A pretty decent encounter so far, a fine exchange of haymakers, and they still come at each other with the same intensity that they were doing right since the onset of the game. It's the first 10 minutes of the contest. Both the teams are pretty high on energy at the moment. They've just started warming up and they are trying to put their best foot forward in their own specific way. Sacred Heart trying to find an outlet up forward, trying to find a few options that can actually make this move noteworthy. And just while OM Roy Memorial wanting to thwart this effort ended up fouling the opposition. So here's a chance for Sacred Heart to once again regroup, breathe for a while, and go for the free kick. He floats that into the opposition half, but the goalkeeper comes up straight off his line and collects it at the end of the day. OM Roy Memorial now has the ball back in their control, shuffles it to the center, but eventually the possession was conceded. And this can be a golden chance. A howler there, shot taken, and an exceptionally well done save there from the goalkeeper, ensuring that he didn't have much space. This was a pretty defensive. This was a pretty decent defensive work as well, if you would say. He actually clawed onto the attacker, didn't give him a free shot. He had to earn it, and from the minimal amount of space that he had, that shot would definitely be considered as a fine effort. And the corner floated in the box. A decent corner. The goalkeeper's come out of his line, missed the flight completely, somehow tips it over, but the ball's fallen back for OM Roy Memorial. They are trying to re-extinguish, they are trying to reignite the flame that dictated the narrative in their favor early in the contest. After the first 7 to 8 minutes, dictated firmly by OM Roy Memorial, the next 4 to 5 minutes have so far belonged to Sacred Heart. They've been pretty solid on the ball, they've been pretty confident, showing the panache and the passion to get that first goal at the back of the net. In fact, they did manage to roll the ball in the back of the net early in the game, only for the linesman to flag it offside. And now a decent outside dodge, sending the ball forward this time, however, before the attacker could have got at the end of it. The defenders of Roy Memorial converged at the same ball from different angles, cutting short, pruning down the shooting space, and eventually clearing it away. A throw in now in favor of Sacred Heart. Sacred Heart looking for a few opportunities and still making all the right buzz now after an initial spell of being suppressed. And a long throw taken away. The ball still hasn't been convincingly cleared away by OM Roy Memorial. And now they bomb forward from that left wing. A fine effort to send a rolling knuckleball in the stride of the attacker there. But eventually he won't succeed. And the ball was cut short by an alert Sacred Heart defense. And now Sacred Heart keeps on coming again. A brilliant back flick has allowed Sacred Heart to get a ball forward, sends a scarring ball in. The goalkeeper once again off his line early, preempting the move and eventually wrapping his gloves around the ball. So no troubles there, and the score still stays locked at an impasse with starting to bring out the heavy artillery, starting to make a few pyrotechnics there. An opportunity there for OM Rai Memorial, goes for the shot. But at the end of the day, a pretty emasculated effort straight into the arms of the goalkeeper. Well, all kudos to the goalkeeper. He was very well stationed and ensured that there isn't much shooting space. And even if there was a shot, it would eventually be watery enough to make it comfortable for him to collect. Another cross floated into the attacking half. The attacker was on the move, but eventually the effort that he shoots sails a bit too wide over the bar. But at the end of the day, the flag was up anyway, so he wouldn't have got much success. So it's going to be a free kick given the fact that it was an offside. And now Sacred Heart has the ball back in their possession. They can build from the back, a brilliant piece of run, evading the extended, the stretching, the diving feet of the attacker. Sends a ball forward, but the defense was pretty alert and cuts it short. So no troubles there. They're still trying to figure out a way, both the sides are still trying to figure out a way to find that early opening, to find that opening goal of the night, of the day, so that they can build further momentum from there and start asking more questions. Once again, the defense had to intervene in order to ensure that the attacker doesn't lay claim to the ball at the other end. He was breathing right on the neck of the opposition, but not to much success. And the ball keeps on rolling out. And the referee eventually saying there was another offside. A long free kick taken. And the ball straight in the opposition half. And the goalkeeper eventually collects it there. A bit of a banter between the two oppositions. And it's good to see banters like this. It ensures that the friendship, the brotherhood at the end of the day remains intact. And that's the entire purpose of football. Like, no matter the rivalry, no matter how intense, how ferocious rivals you two are, but when the game's over, when you're off the field, you should have each other's back. And that's exactly what football teaches. A fine turn there from the from the Omroy Memorial School attacker there. But not to much avail because he was crowded by four defenders guarding him, not allowing that ball to be set free in the opposition half. And now a long range ball sent right from the opposition defense goes straight down the arms of the Sacred Heart goalie. And now Sacred Heart on the move again in pursuit of the ball and eventually cleared away by the goalkeeper at the expense of a throw. Before the throw is taken, Sacred Heart is exploring a few options, ensuring that they have the required numbers. There's been a pretty even Stevens contest with both the sides dishing out an opening brand of football, ensuring that they are not playing a cagey affair. They are not pretty defensive in the contest. They're bringing out the big guns whenever necessary. They're taking those much required shots whenever they want to. And now a chance there for Sacred Heart to rebuild again. They have the ball in their control. Pretty decent footwork there. And they keep on carrying the ball forward. Sends a brilliant cross, a chance for Sacred Heart to score. And somehow from point blank range, he's pulled the trigger wide. Well, like only time will say if he would rue that opportunity, but you won't get a better chance than that. The game's resumed. We'll try and show you replay of what exactly happened. A brilliant chance there. And now a long ball sent forward to O.M. Roy Memorial, but then eventually it would be the defender cutting it short. Ball still in play, and it's going to be a throw in favor of O.M. Roy Memorial. Just a few seconds ago, there was a golden opportunity for Sacred Heart to take the lead. And somehow, they have drilled it wide from very close range. And a brilliant piece of footwork there allowed him to go past not one but four defenders in the process and eventually draw a foul in a very menacing position. There's a player down, most likely while he was dribbling, he almost dribbled his way past four defenders, and while he was en route to dribbling through the feet of the fifth, there was a foul drawn, and eventually the referee had to force his whistle, calling the offender over and bringing the card out. Medical help is being summoned, and we'll quickly update at the end of the day. But right now, as things stand, it's going to be a free kick in favor of Om Roy Memorial School. And now this free kick can cause a lot of chaos for Sacred Heart if they aren't defensively organized. It is just at the edge of the box. They're a bit too fortunate that it didn't go an inch inside. Because had it been the same, the result could have been chaotic and a chance for them to unleash what can probably be deemed as a thunderbolt. Goes for the shot and finds the back of the net. Just while we were saying, O.M. Roy Memorial, this is the best possible chance that they could have get, and they made brilliant use of it, unleashing a thunderbolt just from the edge of the box and finding the bottom left corner of the net. Absolutely nothing that the goalkeeper could have done, far beyond his reach. And the earlier salvo has paid off handsome dividends as O.M. Roy Memorial has a lead in their favor. What a fine strike! It simply doesn't get better than that. Impeccable shot there. And now Sacred Heart will have some important yards to make. The game has been a pretty fast-paced affair with both teams hell-bent on finding the back of the net. It was eventually Sacred Heart who found the back of the net for the first time, only to be repealed or only to be deemed as offside. But then, on an official note, it was Omroy Memorial Higher Secondary School who unleashed an absolute belter from the edge of the box from a free kick to put it in the back of the net, keeping the goalkeeper stranded to his position. This is what brilliance looks like. This is what glory looks like. And this is what precision looks like. In other words, this would simply be precision personified. And now, Sacred Heart, knowing the amount of effort that they'll have to put in to come back from here, is gonna be not simple but huge. They have lots of ground to cover, and they'll need to find the right passes, the right men up front, and the right numbers need to be injected as well. Because this goal is going to change the complexion of the game. It's gonna instill a lot more of confidence in the hearts of Roy Memorial. It was Lambok who belted the peach of a free kick, another free kick this time at the other end, and now Sacred Heart has an opportunity to float it into the net. Question is, can they make good use of it? It's a bit too far from where Roy Memorial had their chance. But so far, this youngster has actually sailed in decent free kicks, takes a long ranger. What a goal! Would you believe that? Oh, I'm sorry. It's my bad. Sincere apologies for the same. It initially felt that the ball went inside, but it was actually tipped over. So that was another decent effort nonetheless. It wasn't a goal for sure, but then at the end of the day, keeping precision almost as close to the goal demands equal respect, equal props. And that's exactly what has been given. But the ball still remains in favor of Sacred Heart. What a fine free kick that was. I mean, free kicks coming from both ends, one ending in the back of the net and the other sailing just over. And a chance for old Roy Memorial to get the ball again, but a brilliant piece of goalkeeping at the end of the day eventually makes it a bit too difficult for Sacred High. There's going to be a goal kick. He had a golden chance at his disposal, but couldn't make good use of it. And any which ways, the flag was raised. That was going to be offside. Now, Sacred Heart starting to press higher than you would expect. They know that they need a goal. They know that they'll have to show the urgency. And they know that they'll have to create chances as much as they can, as many as they can. And as frequently as they can. As things stand, it is Omroy Memorial who found the back of the net through a thunderous free kick. And they still have that lead intact. The first 25 minutes of the game has already lapsed, and both teams have dished out a masterclass until now. And they'll keep on doing this, they'll keep on delivering the required goods. And a long free kick floated into the box of Omroy Memorial. Still looking for some shooting space there, but Omroy Memorial defenders won't be giving it away. And eventually it goes to the goalkeeper. What an electric contest we have so far witnessed, with both the sides absolutely undaunted by each other, undaunted by the ball even going into the back of the net, wants to keep on clawing at their counterparts with their claws and fangs bared. And that's the kind of intense rivalry that we would definitely want to witness. We would definitely want to enjoy and savor. But at the moment, as things stand, it's still locked at the same score, 1-0 so far in favor of Omrai Memorial. Sacred Heart trying desperately to find the ball in their favor in the opposition half. Ever since the goal, they have failed to do it. The ball, definitely, they've got some important phase of possession, but they haven't able to actually convert it into something significant. This, however, can be the change that they were looking forward to. The cross that was whipped into the box eventually went out in form of a possession for Roy Memorial School. And the flag has eventually gone up, so it's going to be Omroy Memorial School with a free kick. We are about to enter the half an hour mark, and so far it has been a solitary strike from Omroy Memorial School to set the tone of the game so far. And it was indeed a moment of madness. It was a maddening strike at Glory, and he found the back of the net to assert the kind of brilliance that they are known for. They have actually stitched some brilliant salvo right from the word go. They have been pretty belligerent. They have ensured that they are not drying out on the attacks. Despite the resultant move, despite the attacking invasion in response from Sacred Heart, they were completely undaunted and they ensured that they were unwavering in their confidence in probing the opposition. And eventually, a free kick was awarded. As they say, fortune favors the brave. A free kick was awarded at a pretty menacing position, and then from there came the thunderbolt that seared down the net of Omrai Memorial School, and now, or rather, of Sacred Heart Senior Secondary School. Now, Sacred Heart has got some serious catching up to do with Omrai Memorial School still dictating the narrative comfortably with that lead. Even though it's a very slender lead, and as we know, football is a very unpredictable game, unless you have that insurance goal, you are never safe. It's a matter of momentum, and if you concede that equalizer, the entire momentum changes. This incredible contest is brought to you live by the official YouTube channel of Reliance Foundation Youth Sports. So it's an honest request from our end too that you like, share, and subscribe to this channel so that we can keep on bringing you this incredible contests played by the youth of India. The ball's back in favor of Omroy Memorial School. They keep on driving forward, but this time not with much success as the ball goes out of play. It's going to be a throw in favor of Omroy Memorial School. They have an opportunity. They're still trying to build forward from there. But again, not much success, and eventually it goes out for a throw in. Another long ball forward. It's now felt after the first 30 minutes of of incessant attacking from both sides, of unsparing bouts of domination from each side, just testing their opposition from a bit too far away. Right now, it feels as if the exhaustion has started setting in, and they'll probably wait for the half time to settle over. Decent piece of run there from Sacred Heart now. Sacred Heart has some space ahead. Can they utilize it? Pretty decent piece of work with the foot. Ensures that the three defenders were staved away. The ball now goes back to Omroy Memorial, and now they have an opportunity to break free, and that too from the wings. But a slight touch from the opposition ensured that the ball didn't have the required momentum, or the ball didn't necessarily land exactly where they would have wanted. It's now a goal kick in favor of Sacred Heart Senior Secondary School, and it takes a long one, but then again staved away by Omroy Memorial. And Omroy Memorial comes again, looking around for that all important insurance strike, sends the ball forward, but it had a bit too much sting on it than the players required speed or whatsoever you may term it as, and it eventually ended up safe in the arms of the goalkeeper. Chance for Sacred Heart to break. They are still looking forward for a few options. There's a decent back flick there, but the required space that was needed couldn't be utilized. Even though the ball's fallen back for Sacred Heart, they have some space up front, but Omroy Memorial has the required defense too. and it has so far proven pretty much equal to the task of matching their opposition by fair bit. And they come forward again, this time acres of space ahead on that left wing for Omroy Memorial. Takes a shot from range, but a very feeble shot, even though the goalkeeper almost spilled it out. But at the second attempt, he collected it comfortably too, ensuring that not far the harm is done. Another long ball sent into the box. The goalkeeper comes out comfortably again and collects it. The ball set forward in the stride of Sacred Heart. They wanted that player at the far right to get to the end of it, but eventually not much success. Sacred Heart still has the ball, does a pretty decent job of keeping it in control. Despite conceding the goal, they haven't seemed as if they have wilted under pressure. They've actually come out on all guns blazing, but probably in the last few minutes after the goal, what they have lacked is the precision in the attacking third. The 6 yard box hasn't seen much of maneuvers from the men in green, and it's mostly the men in blue who is dictating the narrative at the moment. Long ball sent forward. The goalkeeper will have to come out. He eventually does and clears the danger lines. A very feeble swing of his feet from Sacred Art. A brilliant long ball comes in there, but a bit too much on the ball, and it had to be collected by the goalkeeper of Omroy Memorial, and he does it comfortably. And now Omroy Memorial keeps on coming forward, knows that they have the required manpower up front. All they need to do is just avoid conceding the possession in the midfield that they have done pretty frequently. But it seems that they have the strength, they have the numerical strength to come down and back a few of their slip ups. Pretty decent control of the ball exhibited by the Omroy Memorial players, and they keep on coming back at it. And a long throw taken away. And the ball's fallen back for Sacred Heart, surprisingly, because it eventually was in control of the Omroy Memorial defender. And they have ended up conceding the possession. Chance again there for Omroy Memorial, or rather Sacred Heart, to break free into the opposition attacking third. But not pretty active there. They've done all the hard work except for creating the chances in the opposition attacking third. And that has so far kept them from scoring that all important equalizer. They have created those passes, they have played those heavy balls forward, they have ensured that they are creating the space, they have ensured they are finding their men in the opposition attacking third, but the resultant efforts in the deep opposition half, as deep as they have gone, has been pretty emaciated. They have lacked incision, they have lacked precision, and definitely they have lacked discipline as well. A long cross floats in there, but the attacker won't reach the ball because the defender was pretty alert. This time from the right wing, Omroy Memorial sends a fine cross, but eventually there were too many defenders of Sacred Heart waiting for that ball to eventually clear their lines. But the final ball went off. The Omroy Memorial School attacker, and now Omroy Memorial has a chance to put another attack forward. They've again started coming forward in numbers. They started pouring the required number of men to showcase that urgency to get that insurance goal before they go into the tunnel for a calculated breather, for a re-strategizing of affairs, and for ensuring that whatever style of football they have played so far, it is suited to the needs of the game. A long ball this time from a Sacred Heart defender eventually evades everyone and lands up in the opposition midfield. This time a long ball sent forward again for a Sacred Roy attacker. Now this is what it has been so far. They have tried and explored the long ball technique pretty much Unfortunately, so far Omroy Memorial looks pretty dangerous on the long balls, wherein Sacred Heart has failed to get the required number of goals up front, or rather, required number of precision up front. Another opportunity this time coming along the way of Sacred Heart, but not to much avail, as the defenders were pretty much on the move, ensuring that the fortress doesn't fall again. And Omroy Memorial has a chance, sends a brilliant ball forward. The goalkeeper eventually will have to intervene, and he does a pretty fine job of clearing his lines. Because if he wouldn't have done that, the ball was straight at the feet of the opposition. With the goalkeeper million miles away from his post, it could have been almost a sheer shot goal. But then a fine presence of mind displayed by the goalkeeper eventually snuffs out any possible opportunity that would have been lurking on the horizon. And now a throw in there for Sacred Heart. Somehow it feels that Sacred Heart's attempt to play with the ball in their control in their own half has actually played into the strengths of Omroy Memorial School. Another long ball being played forward. The goalkeeper had to come out to deliver them out of any jeopardy that could have lurked right around the corner, and eventually does it well because there was an attacker in hot pursuit of the ball. Chance again for Omrai Memorial. He's looking for support, but the support was too late to arrive. But once again, Sacred Heart has given the ball away too cheaply. A shooting effort straight at one of the players of Sacred Heart. The ball still remains for Omrai. That is a brilliant piece of defending. Absolutely stellar dive, ensuring that he didn't get the ball in time. One of the best defensive moves so far of this contest, coming all the way from the Sacred Heart boys. But now they have to deal with the corner, another set piece. As far as things stand, Omrai Memorial School, they've definitely got the goal, but the kind of dominance that they would have wanted to assert upon the opposition hasn't been. There's a shooting space there for Omrai Memorial School. The ball still not clear, and eventually it was flicked over the woodwork by the opposition. We are now headed for the final 5 minutes of the opening contest. Chance there for Sacred Heart. It came from a long ball, and as most of the Omroy Memorial players were there in the attacking third, trying to complete the attack a few moments back, they almost found an opening for themselves. But still now, the goalkeeper of Omroy Memorial School has also seemed pretty solid, anticipating their oppositions. I don't think the referee would give much from there. But the referee actually has blown the whistle, and it's going to be another free kick from an almost identical situation from which the opener of the day came, and that too, it's just at the stroke of half time. Now, if they score from this, the coach of Sacred Heart will have to entirely rethink his strategy, because a one goal difference is an entirely different ball game from a two-goal difference, because you will need much more urgency. But right now we would like to focus on the free kick. Can he emulate his earlier heroics? Goes for the free kick, and the goalkeeper had to intervene. The ball still not clear, and the referee finally blows his whistle. The goalkeeper putting in a crucial palm there, ensuring that the ball's finally clattering against the woodwork. Defending his fortress much fiercely than before. And this save can be something crucial, because it'll give him a lot of confidence, it'll give him a lot of belief in himself after conceding that opener. And just while we were saying this, a pretty decent advancement there from the goalkeeper, ensuring that he's timing his run properly and wrapping his gloves around the ball without any fuss. But as things stand, Omroy Memorial has the lead, and now they have some shooting space ahead. Sends a brilliant cross, creates that space, but then shoots it wide of the woodwork. Well, he won't be happy with that effort. There's a brilliant chance for him to probably double his lead. At least, maybe a shot on target could have brought out a dive from the goalkeeper, and you never know if you would have timed your shot perfectly. That may have even imbricated itself into the back of the net, but right now, it didn't go that far. He overpowered his shot, and it sailed over. A final 1 minute of the contest coming out. The goalkeeper taking his time, not in a hurry right now. You'd want to go to the tunnel with that same score line, a 1-0 score line that would probably help his cause, that would probably allow his coach to imply a significant strategy. A few balls being played in the middle there. This time a bit too long, trying to explore the central channel, Sacred Heart School. But right now, it's Omroy Memorial who's back on that left wing, that dynamic and explosive left wing that has produced a plethora of crosses and opportunities, and a chance there again from that left wing. Another brilliant cross floating over. Eventually, it was not well controlled while the ball rolling out of possession in favor of Sacred Heart at the moment. Now, Sacred Heart has the possession in their favor, sends a ball in, and the attacker still tussling with his opposition to get the ball. And this time, the resultant delivery from the right was extremely meek. I didn't get them anywhere. We are in the final 30 seconds of the opening contest. And the scoreline still stands 1-0 in favor of Royal Memorial School. Now, Sacred Heart trying to keep the possession desperately for the final few seconds of the first half. But Omroy has snatched it back. This can be a great opportunity. A brilliant 1-2 has set themselves perfectly for a shooting scope. There comes the shot, but most likely it was on his wrong feet. He couldn't keep the ball down and eventually floats it over the woodwork. A golden opportunity. What a move. Brilliant team effort. And the referee finally blowing his whistle, putting an end to the first half. A fine display of football, a fine act of effervescent football comes to an end, as it was Lambok who found the back of the net from a screaming free kick, nailing it to perfection. We will shortly return to you with the second half of the day. Still then, stay tuned and stay posted. And ladies and gentlemen, we are back for the second half of the contest. A cracking first half between Om Roy Memorial School and Sacred Heart Senior Secondary School have so far resulted in a solitary goal. So it's just one goal separating the two sides, which came from a free kick that was executed with clinical precision and singular distinction by Omroy Memorial School. And now it's time for another exciting 45 minutes of intense football that can set the tone of the game or that can probably define what these two teams want from this exciting fixture. We can see the verdant pastures of Shillong playing host to such an incredible contest between two incredibly talented youth sides. And the kind of football that they have stitched together, it is nothing short of brilliant. It is nothing short of exciting, and it is nothing short of a promise for for the future of Indian football. A few passes being stitched. A pass comes in from that left wing for Sacred High. Can they get a shot on target? They won't be able to do it at the moment. As a fine block, a timely block there from Omroy Memorial School will thwart them from getting any shy at glory. Sacred Heart, not disheartened to be honest by the repeated interventions of Omroy Memorial School, so they will definitely be liking to take it. Like they like to fluke their attacking intent up by an octave higher than they are doing at the moment, and they'll try and probably probe a few moves down the central channel because both the teams have relied heavily on the wings, and it has actually paid dividends because the attacking intent, the attacking moves have so far been found. But at the same time, for Sacred Heart, however, it hasn't yet worked to its fullest potential. So maybe they can try and think of something down that central channel, something to create so that the opposition can be probed and opposition can be put under pressure. Because it is Sacred Heart who will need to show a lot more urgency. They are a goal down at the moment. They'll try and find out a route through which they can get that equalizer. But at the moment, it doesn't seem like Omrai Memorial has another attack in the making. This is a great opportunity. Takes the shot. A bit too selfish in the end, and eventually ends up bundling it straight into the arms of an advancing goalkeeper. A decent effort from the goalkeeper. He ensured that he was coming off the block and cutting down that line of supply. He should have created that pass much early. There were not one but two players on the move, and they had the clear goal in sight instead of the attacker. It's a corner now for Omrai Memorial. Can they make good use of it? Only time will say. Whips in the corner, and the goalkeeper comfortably connects it. Oh my word, he almost ended up making a hash of affairs. Ball spilled out of his hands, and while he tried to collect it, it rolled out of play as well, imparting another corner to Sacred Heart at the moment. Or rather to Omroy Memorial at the moment. Chance for them to double their lead. Floats another corner, the goalkeeper rises beyond the defenders, palms it away briefly. But then Omroy Memorial has the ball back in their favor. Sends it forward. A bit too directionless, a bit too haywire. This time another scarring delivery was being teased from Sacred Heart. But eventually another preemptive move, another preemptive extended feet from Omrai Memorial ensured that the ball is not finding the destined player. A bit of a push on the shore and will go out as a goal kick in favor of Omrai Memorial School. They still have the lead in their favor, despite all the incursions, despite all the attacking intent of Sacred Heart. The fact that they have managed to hold on to their lead pretty dearly is a blazing testimony to their defensive solidity. And Sacred Heart comes forward again. Sends a long ball, hoping that their attacker would reach the ball in time. But Glory still evades them. No harm done. And the game continues at its own pace. A long throw in taken there by Omral Memorial. They have controlled the ball pretty brilliantly. It wasn't as easy as you would have felt it because the ball was bobbling pretty awkwardly. So they had to ensure that they had the ball in control, and it's very deceptive at times. At times, you may even tend to lose the possession while you are taking that turn, but it was good to see. And pretty much a howler from the goalkeeper almost cost him the possession. And what a counter howler from Sacred Heart in an effort to find a pass or probably take a shot with the goalkeeper down. They ended up bundling straight into the arms of a fallen goalkeeper. Once again, the defender has given away the ball way too cheaply and in a dangerous position. Chance there for Sacred Heart, but they will not be able to utilize it. The profligacy for the men in green continue. They've got the ball in very decent position, but they have failed to convert it. They have failed to make it count. And the woes keep on mounting. Chance again, this time for Omrai Memorial to take a shot, unleashes one. But this time the goalkeeper pretty much alert, keeping the bases covered. The angle was pretty short as well, but the ball eventually was drilled wide by Omrai Memorial. A pretty decent exchange of affairs, a very fast-paced affair at the moment, with the men in green right now looking for that equalizer, but pretty profligate up front. While in Omrai Memorial, the men in blue, they are a bit too much now on the defense, on the retreat, trying to gather their forces, rally themselves in a bid to keeping the defensive integrity intact. Now Omrai Memorial has another chance. A fine run there from the left wing and an equally fine effort of defensive clearance from the men in green. And a chance there for him to snatch the ball. A drag from the back. There's going to be a change. So Sacred Heart bringing in number 13 in place of number 8. Only time will say whether this move infuse the required precision and intent that they currently need to get, or rather to restore parity, to restore world order for themselves. The kind of contest we have seen since the resuming of the second half has been nothing short but a boiling cauldron of intense footballing activity, of intense exchange of hefty haymakers at both ends, showing the passion, showing the intensity, showing the zeal to get the back of the net or to find the back of the net. Both the sides have their individual reasons, of course. Omrai Memorial in desperate pursuit of that second goal, of that insurance goal, where in Sacred Heart Senior Secondary School, they have made their intentions very clear. They want the equalizer at the earliest possible opportunity. Sacred Heart will have to have a bit of possession in order to pose a serious threat to the opposition. Despite the questions asked so far, it seems that their possession has been pretty much on the lesser side. A chance there for Omrai Memorial to double their lead. Sends it on the far right, and a slip up there from the attacker at the far end didn't allow him to go past their current lead, and the score still remains intact at 1-0. On an honest note, even Omrai Memorial has been pretty profligate, except that goal. Well, that goal was also not from open play. That was from a set piece. So probably they'll also have to be a bit more composed. A long ball sent forward Can the attacker latch onto it from the far left? But he eventually gave up his run midway, and that extra second allowed the opposition to clear the ball away for a throw. But right now, as things stand, the ball is still pretty much in control of Sacred Heart. They had a throw. There are too many defenders blocking them, guarding them, and eventually snatching it away. Well, while he snatched the ball away, he ended up fouling the player that would impart a free kick at a very crucial stage of the game. There's a player down, and he'll need some medical treatment. This can be a game changing move. This can be a game changing free kick that can come into the picture. Only time will say whether it would bear fruit or not. But this can be a defining and a reckoning moment of the game for the men in green, who have been pretty active in the past few minutes and ensured that the questions have been asked exactly in the fashion it has been so far. It was a throw in, it was not a free kick there, but some chance there, some space to shoot for Sacred Heart, but it has been snatched away by Omroy Memorial. But Sacred Heart has regained control of the ball and they are still on the move. Can they whip in that center that they're looking forward to? Does send one. But the goalkeeper firmly confident. And now chance for Sacred Heart, or rather for Omroy Memorial to break free. They are waiting for the arrival of Health. He's found a fine ball there at the edge of the box, looking for some shooting space. The shot eventually comes in, but blocked by Sacred Heart. So no troubles there. Omroy Memorial had a fine move in the making, but couldn't fructify it at the end of the day. Now Omroy Memorial had a golden opportunity to break. They had a player on the far left whom they could have passed the ball to, but they eventually failed to do that. The goalkeeper comes out. He's made a hash of affairs, and how can the ball still be out of the goal? The referee has eventually pointed at the spot, so most likely there was some phenomenal defending a few moments back. But was there a hand involved while he did that? Oh, it is a penalty, yes. A few high fives there in the camp of the men in green. Just a few seconds back, we saw some phenomenal defending. It was still oblivious that how could the ball stay out of the post with so much intensity. A chance for them to step up to the spot kick. Can they roll the ball in the back of the net? Can they restore parity? Goes for it. Takes the penalty. And a finely powered penalty into the left corner. And it's all square as Omra Memorial School will now have to work in restoring their lead, wherein Sacred Heart Senior Secondary School have just restored parity. They kept on coming at the opposition, they kept on knocking on the doors, and eventually they have banged them open. The salvo paid off handsome dividends just when it felt that there was a bit too much. The defense kept on showing their integrity out of Omrai Memorial. They ended up losing their composure and handled the ball inside the box, and the referee didn't take a single second in pointing to the dreaded spot. And now all the hard work so far being stitched by Omroy Memorial has just come unglued, with the Sacred Heart finding the back of the net. Now this goal can do a world of good to Sacred Heart and probably increase their stature and tell them that this is the time that they would like to put the feet on the pedal even further. A cross floated in from that left, was curling in menacingly, but eventually didn't curl in enough to find the head of an attacker. So a goal kick at the end of the day. And now Omrai Memorial. Can they get the ball back? It seems that Sacred Heart is pretty persistent with their defensive encounter. It was Banra Bolang with that spot kick. This can be dangerous. The defender hasn't cleared the ball. The ball's fallen back for Sacred Heart. They're building from the left. They passed it, waiting for some help to arrive in the center. But eventually cleared away by Omrai Memorial School. And it's time for Sacred Heart to build again from the back. And a decent piece of defensive work. The ball's still in play, but eventually the referee says that no, it has rolled out. There's going to be a goal kick, and we have just completed 1 hour of intense football, wherein both the sides are locked at a 1-all standoff. A phenomenal free kick gave the lead to Omrai Memorial School, and then a finely taken spot kick was converted into the back of the net to make it all square. It's a rolling free kick at the end of the day for Sacred Heart. They showed some grit, some gumption in the second half, and eventually managed to reap the fruits of pretty well constructed attacks. And now chance for Omrai Memorial to get the ball in their control. There are too many defenders of Sacred Heart who's currently controlling the narrative. And they eventually get the ball back in their favor. It's a long run for the attacker on the left wing of Sacred Heart, but he won't eventually find the ball. Omrai Memorial will have to batten down their hatches. They will have to ensure that not much comes out of the proceedings. Sacred Heart now has the ball in their favor, just hoping that they can get something again. A long ball being sent forward by Omrai Memorial. Job to do for the Sacred Heart defense. Chance! And oh my word! Not one, but twin saves. First, the goalkeeper puts on a diving effort, but then the ball still remained in play. And another golden opportunity falling in the path of Omrai Memorial School. And a phenomenal defensive move, a phenomenal block kept them at bay with 0 success. So the score still stands locked at an impasse, 1-all in favor of both the sides. The ball still not cleared out, and eventually it goes out of play after there was too much power in the shot of Omrai Memorial School. We are witnessing some intense footballing action between two sides who are hell-bent to prove a point, who are hell-bent to showcase their extraordinary talent, who are hell-bent to showcase their hunger to find the back of the net. The ball still remains with Omrai Memorial, but eventually the flag goes up and it's going to be a free kick in favor of Sacred Heart, but the ball's fallen back for Omrai Memorial. They've been pretty scrappy in the second half, but just a few moments back they had a golden opportunity once again. Their profligacy has been extremely glaring and they keep on reviewing all of it. taking their time. A brilliant piece of footwork there. Flicks his way past the defender, and now Sacred Heart has the opportunity to break. They have the required numbers. Now they are trying to use the central channel instead of the wings. Sends the ball a bit too much, but there is space on that left wing. He's received the ball, sends the ball forward. Now another move coming over, and eventually the Omroy Memorial defender clearing his lines, ensuring that no harm is done. But before that, the flag went up. So some breathing space at the end of the day for Omroy Memorial School. Sacred Heart still trying to find an outlet there to get a second goal, to taste the lead for the first time in the contest. They have restored parity. Yes, it was Omroy who led for almost a significant half an hour before the equalizer was scored. And now Omroy would like to make amendments for their earlier misses. They've missed a lot. They have squandered away countless opportunities. Chance there for Omroy Memorial. They're keeping the ball in control. They're looking for some shooting space ahead. Takes the shot from distance, but the distance was a bit too much, so it eventually goes out for goal kick. Sacred Heart keeping the ball in possession, dribbles past a couple of players. They're taking a bit too much time than you would want. Tries to send a forward ball, but eventually cleared away by Omroy Memorial defense. And now Omroy Memorial is again on the move. We have seen an intense contest so far, a rivalry of the first waters, a rivalry of the highest order, and they still keep on coming at each other. While we say this contest is a fine cross, however, and goes miles wide, in fact miles high enough in the sky. So this contest is brought to you live by the official YouTube channel of Reliance Foundation Youth Sports. So it's an honest request from our end as well to like, share and subscribe to this channel. That will probably get you further gilt-edged contests of this Indian youth, stitching together a brand of imperious domination, making their dreams in sports come true. Well, they're taking a bit too much time to control the ball. Favor of Sacred Heart. They're taking their time, they're not in a hurry. They've managed to restore parity. So they'll probably take it much deeper than you would want them to. We will like to ask all the important questions as they have done so far. And the ball goes out for another throw in now. Omroy Memorial still trying to keep things in their control, still trying to control the narrative and their possible manner that would actually work as an advantage for them. And now they have a corner going their way. Can they do something from this range? Goes for the shot. It had a bit too much on it. That allows Greenheart to regain control of the possession. And now Greenheart has the opportunity to break with the opposition, majority of the opposition in their own half. Chance there, a long ball sent forward. The goalkeeper will again come out and collect it comfortably. Well, now things are getting a bit too scrappy, but there again, Omrai Memorial have the ball, a bit of a push and a shove, and eventually the defensive lines were cleared. The question just started. It's another corner in favor of Omrai Memorial. They're again starting to stitch the required attacks. Whips in the corner, the goalkeeper comes out and palms it significantly in order to clear away any possible danger. Momentarily though, because Omrai Memorial still has the ball. A fine run going past four defenders, not one, not two, not three, but four defenders in the flash of an eye, and eventually unleashing a shot that sailed wide. And a change happening there. Number 14 coming out for Sacred High, where number 5 going out. Omrai Memorial has been pretty active in the last few minutes, and it has needed some solid defense from Sacred Heart to still keep them at bay. Now Omrai Memorial, this is a chance. Can they utilize it? Shooting space, takes the shot, brilliantly clamped down on the attacker. Kudos to the Sacred High defense. Very alert, very vigilant, exceptionally impeccable in terms of blocks and in terms of timing of their tackles and slides. That was a very crucial dive at the end of the day. Another long ball sent forward, chance again. But it won't trickle out of the goalkeeper's arms. He's ensuring that no harm's done there. The last 5 minutes has seen Omrai Memorial almost rooted, or rather tented there in the camp of the opposition. Or in the camp of the opposition attacking third to be precise. They just gave up. They had no idea that there was a player right behind him who wasn't offside and was chasing the ball. At the end of the day, a bit too fortunate that he didn't reach it. But he was caught napping. And a poor throw again. Omrai Memorial on the offensive now. A fine pass, however, headed away for a throw in favor of Sacred Heart. Omrai Memorial has a throw to take. Takes the throw quickly. A cross comes floating in, but will be headed clear by Sacred Heart. No problems, no troubles whatsoever at the moment. Despite all the dribbles and pirouettes and prancing down the wing, they will not find the promised land that they are so desperately looking forward to. The referee quickly blows his whistle. Goes for a long ball, sends it forward and headed clear by the opposition. Now chance again for Omrai Memorial School to break. And there was a slight tug, the referee blowing his whistle, which will allow Sacred Heart to breathe a bit. They have been kept confined to their own half for the last 10 minutes almost. They are defending as if their lives are on the line, and they have done a pretty good at it. It has so far been a cliff-hanging contest between two sides who are hell-bent to dish out their very best in their own possible way. There is a chance for Sacred Heart to find some shooting space. He's fallen at the edge of the box, but the referee says that was definitely not a foul. But the ball still remains with Sacred Heart, and eventually he slips and concedes the possession. Chance for Omrai Memorial to break from the left. They have the required numbers. Can they control the ball? Can they find the help? that they want forward to, and it's eventually a throw in their favor. The game has been restarted by Omroy Memorial. They are stitching together a few crucial passes, sends the ball forward, but headed clear by the Sacred Heart defense. It's a corner nonetheless for Omroy Memorial. Floats the corner. Header comes in, but it was wide. A long goal kick taken, but it's going to be another throw in favor of Sacred Heart. Omroy Memorial trying to create another attack for themselves, but the ball rolls out for a throw in now. The goalkeeper once again wrapping his arms around the ball, just ensuring that no harm was done. And now chance for Sacred Heart to get some possession of the ball for themselves. It has been a while since they have managed to find the back of the net. Only time will tell whether they can utilize the possession, all this possessional advantage, all this domination over the last 10 minutes in their favor. Now, suddenly, Sacred High has the ball in a very decent position. It still hasn't been cleared. They still have a chance to build from the wings now. They have the possession going. Sends the ball forward, but headed a bit clear. There is still some shooting space from range for Sacred High, and it will eventually go out as a throw in favor of Sacred High. Is there still a late twist in the game? We are almost down to 77 minutes, and we have 13 minutes of contest coming up. Both the sides have been pretty dominant, have been pretty active in terms of finding the back of the net. Until now, they haven't found except that one goal apiece that they have managed to score. Sacred Heart sends a looping cross in, and it's found the back of the net. The goalkeeper has made a total hash of affairs, and now he's jeopardized all the hard work that was stitched by his team, at least for the past 15 minutes. Well, this cross had nothing in it, but the goalkeeper missed the flight of the ball, and the ball flew into the back of the net. And now, Omroy Memorial will probably have to double up their attacking intent that they have managed to stitch in the last few minutes. It came out of nowhere, and it pretty much came against the run of the play, where the ball has just flown into the back of the net, wherein Sacred Heart, after ages of weathering the storm, after weathering the blue storm crackling on their gates, has eventually found an outlet for themselves. And now a free kick in favor of Omroy Memorial School. He's asking for a card there, but I don't think there's much involved in this. Just while we felt that this game had a late twist or not, it has found the all important finish. A free kick in favor of Omroy Memorial. Do we have another late change coming up? He sails it in the box, but it was headed clear. So another corner for Omroy Memorial. Such has been the narrative of the game for sure. They have dictated it for the last 10 minutes, but they have not scored. And Sacred Heart just ensuring that they had an opportunity. They took a shy at goal. And as you would put it, fortune favoring the brave in terms of showing the grit that they have in their defense in the last few minutes. And the goalkeeper, the ball flew through the arms. It was Oturki who got that lead for the first time for Sacred Heart, and just in the nick of time with 10 minutes to go and ages of thoughts to worry about for the man in blue. A long throw will be floating in the box. Chance for Sacred Heart to bring the ball again. Takes the shot. Goal number 3. And it's now crumbling down for Omroy Memorial School. Now this probably is the coup de grace that they were looking forward to. And they have found it. They have scored 2 goals in the span of 2 minutes. And the goalkeeper has been stunned. He wasn't tested much in the second half until this point, wherein they have found 2 goals in a span of 2 minutes. So, as the famous legend Peter Drury would put it, they have struck twice in a trice. It's 3-1 in favor of Sacred Heart Senior Secondary School, and Omroy Memorial School are simply clueless, punch drunk, and absolutely shell shocked at what has just unfurled in the span of the last 2 minutes. There's a player down. They have resumed with the game. They do not want to waste time. They know that they just have 9 minutes on the clock and they'll have to score 2 goals in order to restore parity for themselves. But right now it seems difficult because almost after ages of domination from Omrai Memorial School, the Sacred Heart's defense has still stood intact, has still stood tall, and has not given an iota of space to the opposition. Now this can be a chance for them to get that all important second goal they have. Oh my word, it's raining goals at the moment. And the last 3 minutes has seen 3 goals being smashed. We are down to the final 8 minutes, and we are again down to a 1 goal difference. Omroy Memorial School, do they have it in themselves to equalize, or will Sacred Heart ensure that they keep that slender lead that they have at the moment intact? What we are witnessing here is football rivalry of the highest order. These youths are indeed the future of Indian football, and they want to keep on coming back at each other. What an incredible contest of football is in the making. Looking for some time, they're trying to keep the possession in their favor, but it doesn't seem like they will have much going their way. The last 3 minutes, and we have seen 3 goals happening. Sacred Heart at it again. They are pretty buoyant on confidence at the moment. They won that 2 goal lead back in their favor. Sacred Heart still has the ball. Omurai Memorial currently having difficulty in getting back the possession in their favor. Again, the ball is there on the far left. Helps arriving for this young kid. Does a pretty decent job of keeping the ball in play with a back flick. Tries to send a cross and eventually will have to settle for a corner. Right now, it feels as if Omroy Memorial School is pretty much overwhelmed with the intensity of the attack that the men in green has suddenly unleashed upon them. Can they get something from the corner? Sails in the corner, rises above each other, but it'll eventually go out. Omrai Memorial School has snatched the ball back, looking for some help down the central channel. They'll eventually regain possession of the ball. Sacred Heart has got the ball back in their favor. Now pushes the ball forward, but before the attacker could have reached it, it'll be comfortably collected at the end of the day. And now chance for Omrai Memorial. They've darted forward, but the goalkeeper eventually comes out of his line and clears away any possible danger that could have lurked on the horizon. But Omrai Memorial simply isn't given up. Another chance, a race between the striker and the goalkeeper, and eventually it's the goalkeeper who will win. He spilled the ball out, but the referee has blown the whistle. It was most likely the collision that allowed the goalkeeper to regain control of proceedings. It was a hefty collision, and both of them are down at the moment. The medico has been summoned. The medical attention has been given. As far as the rule of FIFA stands, if your goalkeeper is down on the pitch, you'll have to wait until he gets back on his feet and acknowledges that he's willing to play. So here's a goal kick. The goalkeeper's back on his feet, and that's the best news from the center. So we'll resume play. Omrai Memorial still hell-bent on getting the back of the net for another time, at least restoring parity from what has so far been an exciting and incredible and electrifying second half. It simply doesn't get better than that. Both the teams absolutely hell-bent on finding the back of the net, ensuring that they get the required goals. A long throw from Sacred Heart was not well controlled there. Omroy Memorial still trying desperately to reach the ball, but eventually a fine defensive work will do the trick for the time being. Sacred Heart has there a lot of numbers down in their defense. Can he reach it? A long ball forward, but eventually will have to let it slip. Few quick passes being stitched already in the deep defense. Chance for Omrai Memorial to break. There's a lot of space forward. Can they take that shot and make it count? And a drag back from the back. The ball's still there in favor of Omrai Memorial, and eventually still a chance. They takes the shot. They found the back of the net. It's all square again. It's kept on ping balling in the opposition half, and eventually that third goal did come. What a cracker of a contest. Well, you won't see a better contest than that. Two teams of the highest quality came clawing at each other, and eventually The result stands exactly where it should be. It's 3-all at the moment, and both the sides continue to go at each other still. And the referee has blown the whistle. That's the end of what seems like a cracker of a contest. Omrai Memorial School and Sacred Heart Senior Secondary School. They have eventually played out a 3-all draw, and we'll quickly let you know about the scorers. It was Lambok who scored for Omrai Memorial with Paya in the 83rd minute, while it was Bangran Paul Lang who scored from the spot for Sacred Heart, and then Autarky in the 78th minute, and then it was Banshankem on the 82nd minute who got the third goal. But Omrai Memorial, they kept on coming harder at the opposition, and eventually found the back of the net not once but twice in the span of the last 7 minutes, and ended the game on a 3-all draw. Kudos to these youngsters. We'll shortly be back with the second game of the day. Still then, stay tuned, stay posted.
Sim gitar. Sim gitar mana nak?